Howdy everybody, my name is the Majin Jester and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be continuing my What If series with the second part of What If the Z Fighters were Celebrities. With the return of the Demon King, will our more famous Z Fighters be able to live up to their previous heights? Find out all this and more on this episode of What If the Z Fighters were Celebrities. Let's get right into it. When we last left off, the two top students of the newly formed Phoenix School faced off in the preliminary round of the 23rd Budokai Tenkaichi, with the youngest member Urein being able to defeat the multi-form launch, which results in the fighters contending on the tournament being as follows. You got Goku, Tien, Yamcha, Cyborg Tao, Shen, Urein, Giren, and Piccolo Jr. all going to the next rounds. The first round of the quarterfinals will be one from the original canon, that being Tien versus his old mentor Cyborg Tao. Then it will be followed by Yamcha against another member of the Phoenix School, Giren. Then we have another canon fight, that being Kami inside of Shen versus Piccolo Jr., with the last fight of the quarterfinals being Goku versus the newly made top student of the Phoenix School, Urein. With that, we start with the first match being underway, which is pretty much unchanged from the original. I wouldn't even say it's much easier for Tien here, seeing as he barely inserted himself in the canon Tao fight. Then we move on to Yamcha vs Giren's match, as they both enter the ring and then bow to each other in respect. Then within an instant, Yamcha rushes with a furious swipes towards Giren, with the larger dragon only being able to narrowly dodge the attacks. This continues as they both trade blows, with Giren opening his mouth, launching his lassoing gum, only to have Yamcha be able to break out of it as he is stronger than Giren's concentration on it. As their match progresses, Yamcha is a bit curious and starts to talk as he dodges a tail swipe from Giren. Like last time, sorry for any bad impersonations, doing the best I've got. Hey, I remember you were in the tournament before last, right? No offense, but you were a completely different fighter back then, man. So what made you decide to join the Phoenix School in the first place? Giren pauses a moment before responding to his question.
After the 22nd tournament, the one I didn't join, the Demon King, or to be more accurate, his spawn, killed me. Later on I heard from the news that you and the other Z Fighters were the reason I was brought back at all. It made me realize how weak I was. That is what made me want to join the Phoenix School.
Yamcha thinks about his response before landing a glancing blow towards Giren's head, with him barely dodging. So that's it, huh? Doesn't sound like something that Tien would agree to take you in for. Giren flies up to gain some distance between him and the bandit before telling him,
That isn't what I meant. I was weak-minded. I was a bully in my village, seeing my natural strength as something that made me better than others. Dying to the Demon King's spawn made me realize I was living life all wrong. I wanted another chance, and decided that becoming a pupil of the people that gave me said chance seemed like a no-brainer.
Yamcha lands down from his attempted aerial assault and looks up to the dragon. That sounds more like Tien. Well, Giren, I can get where you're coming from. I was a desert bandit stealing from those who happened to get unlucky to cross my path before I met Goku. Sometimes you have to get knocked around to finally get your head on straight. Well, if that's the true reason you joined, let's see who's grown more in their new journey. Let's do this. Giren then nods to him as he extends his arm, pointing down as he uses his other arm to steady his aim. He charges up a Dodon Ray, firing it towards Yamcha, who then squats down before launching himself up, yelling out, "Wolf Fang Pounce!" as he attacks the beam, charging straight through it before raising his arm and slamming down Giren with a slash-like motion, which sends the dragon down back into the arena, knocked out. The announcer finishes his 10 count, resulting in the winner being Yamcha, with the Desert Bandit going to help Giren up and out of the arena as we move on to the next round. For the third round, we move on to Shen/Kami versus Piccolo Jr. The fight is about identical to the one in canon, with Kami in Shen's body launching a Mafuba, only for it to be reversed by Piccolo, resulting in Kami being sealed in the bottle, with the new Demon King grabbing it and swallowing it whole. Shen, who is now conscious, is congratulated by his family as the round is now over. For the next round, we move on to Goku vs Urein. Much like with previous members of other rounds, they both bow to each other before Urein immediately goes on the offensive, she dashes towards Goku with the match officially starting. The young Phoenix School student keeps throwing punches and kicks at Goku, with the Saiyan dodging each one. Urein starts to speak to Goku as she continues her assault. "So you're supposed to be the hero who defeated the Demon King, huh?" With her firing a Dodon Ray with it being deflected into the sky by Goku. Goku responds with, "Yeah, I guess you could call me that, though I wouldn't really call myself a hero. Just call me Goku. Hey, you're one of Tien's students, right? This will be pretty fun if you trained under him, since he was the one who beat me in the last tournament." With Goku then throwing out a kick which is only narrowly dodged by Urein before it hits her. "His student? I guess you could consider me one of them, but I don't plan on being here for long. After I beat you, I'm gonna challenge Tien and prove I'm stronger than him." Urein then launches into a flurry of blows, with Goku dodging and jumping back, a little surprised by her response. "Beating me and Tien, huh? Then abandoning your school? You're about as aggressive as I remember Tien being. Got any reason why you seem so aggressive towards your master?" Urein immediately closes the distance between them angrily as she starts to trade blows with Goku once again. "I don't consider him my master. He abandoned the Crane School and I refuse to let him go before I have proved that I am the strongest of Shen's students. He is a disgrace and I will prove it here." Goku smirks before deflecting each and every one of her punches. "That's it, huh? Well, then I guess you're gonna have to beat me first to prove it." The match continues as Urein, though weaker in strength, is surprisingly fast, as she continues to not allow any space between the two of them. "You know, I expected more from the savior of Earth." Goku then leaps back before putting a hand towards Urein. "Oh yeah? I guess it is time for me to start getting a bit more serious now. Before we continue this, I want to show you me my best." With Goku then removing his undershirt and shoes, with Urein and the crowd being confused, when they are surprised as the arena cracks as the clothes are dropped. The match then immediately shifts into Goku's favor, as Urein isn't able to keep up with his new speed, barely being able to dodge the first few attacks before taking several blows as she is sent back. Furious at this, she tries to use another one of the Crane School techniques, the Solar Flare, to try to distract Goku. But as she starts to lift her fingers to her head, Goku, recognizing the technique, closes his eyes and only uses Ki Sense to move around, as Urein tries to gain the advantage by using other Crane School techniques such as the Three Witches techniques and others. After all narrow miss and all of her techniques failing, she is on the edge of the ring and Urein yells out, "No, this can't be happening. I can't lose. Not before I had my chance to challenge him." She flies up into the sky, putting her hands together in a familiar shape to those who fought the Demon King. Tien in the stand jumps up, yelling to Urein, "Wait, Urein, stop! That technique is only for life and death cases. It's a killing shot that takes your life force. I was a fool to use it last tournament." Urein looks towards Tien. "I don't care. I refuse to lose like this. Not before I get the chance to beat you." With Tien yelling back, "You won't get a chance to beat me if you're already dead. And even if you live it, you'll be disqualified if you have to hit and kill Goku. You want to prove you're the strongest to the world, right?" This causes Urein to hesitate as she looks back down, but Goku has jumped up and gets close and fires a Kamehameha into her that sends her back down and outside of the arena, making Goku the winner of this round, with him landing beside Urein holding out his hand. "Hey, that was an amazing fight. Once you train up more with Tien, I want to fight you again." Urein pauses, not responding, before getting up by herself and exiting the arena, not near any of the rest of the Phoenix School or anyone else. With that, the winners of these matches were Tien, Yamcha, Piccolo, and Goku. As we move on to the next rounds, the matches that will be first will be Yamcha versus Goku and Tien versus Piccolo. With the first of these matches being Goku versus Yamcha, as both get up to the arena and face each other, with Yamcha saying, "Hey, it's been a while since we've had a match, huh? Hope you're ready for a rematch." With Goku then grinning and saying, "Of course, hope you got some new moves ready since last time." With Yamcha saying, "Oh, you'll see," as both of them face each other and get into stance, as we will have to wait for that exciting match to continue in the next episode. Thank you everyone for watching, and hope you're here whenever we get to Goku vs Yamcha and Piccolo vs Tien in the next episode of What If Goku and the rest of the Z Fighters were celebrities. See you then.